Ni hao, bonjour, guten tag, namaste, konnichiwa, salam, hola, hello, and welcome to STEM Sisters 2022 International Women's Day event. My name is Shaz, and I will be your MC for tonight. Before we start, we'd like to acknowledge that this event is being held on the lands of the Burrungwang and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and acknowledge them as the traditional owners. We'd like to pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be here with us today. Today is a celebration, not just of International Women's Day, but also of STEM Sisters Student Ambassador Program, providing outstanding and motivated female international STEM students the opportunity to learn from industry leaders, build their professional skills, and feel more connected while studying and living in Victoria. STEM Sisters, the organisers, the supporters, and the ambassadors of today's event, and myself included, are really excited to be here with you today. And we hope that you are too, because today we are taking a step closer to imagining a world that is more empowered and gender equal, a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, and a world where our differences are not just valued, but celebrated. To kick off today's proceedings, we have a video message from the Honourable Jala Pulford, the Minister for Employment, the Minister for Innovation, Medical Research and Digital Economy, the Minister for Small Business, and the Minister for Resources. As a trailblazer, she is no stranger to smashing glass ceilings. She was the first female Agriculture Minister and has played a significant role in the government's COVID-19 response, which has included record investment in small business support, massive investment in COVID-19 and other vital medical research, the establishment of the Australian Institute for Infectious Disease, and support for local mRNA manufacturing. She's been a strong advocate for the innovation and tech sector, recognising the sector's role in improving people's lives and generating jobs of the future. She sends her apologies for not being able to attend today, but assures us that she's here with her fighting spirit.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of country and to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, whether you are in person gathered or wherever you might be joining from remotely. I'd also like to acknowledge any Aboriginal people that are with us for this important occasion today. Can I also acknowledge Dr. Rwangi Fernando, the Director and Founder of STEM Sisters. It would be lovely to be with you in person celebrating this important International Women's Day event, but I'm really pleased that if I can't do that, I'm at least able to share with you a few thoughts and a message. Firstly, happy International Women's Day. It's an important occasion, been running for many, many, many years, and an opportunity for women to celebrate the things that have been achieved in pursuit of a more gender equal world, but also to focus our efforts and occasionally our rage on the work that we still have to do. And this year's theme around the world is Break the Bias, which is a perfect theme, I think, when we're talking about raising awareness of gender equity, gender equality and inclusion. And it's inspiring to see organisations like STEM Sisters doing just that every day by helping women, and in particular culturally diverse women, to grow their professional skills and to help them feel more connected while studying in those all-important STEM fields across Victoria. Now, it's no secret that women can face significant barriers across different industries and across different sectors, but I think it's still a really significant challenge in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. STEM jobs are often come with greater barriers for women than for men. And we hear from women that they can experience sexism, a hostile workplace culture, lower pay, higher unemployment rates, and a lack of career progression, sometimes getting stuck under one of those glass ceilings that still are there to be found. All of this needs to change. There needs to be opportunities and better places to support women from diverse backgrounds to pursue careers in STEM. We already have a skills shortage in so many areas of science and tech, innovation, manufacturing and engineering. So it's not just a matter of helping women to fulfil their potential, it's also an economic imperative for our state and for our nation. This will help to address skills gaps, drive Victoria's economy and pave the way for future generations. So thank you, Dr. Rawangi Fernando, for establishing STEM Sisters. You are a true champion for women in STEM. I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that we need more incredible role models like you to drive change. By supporting the STEM Sisters Ambassador Program, we want to encourage more women from diverse backgrounds to turn their passions into rewarding careers in STEM. And I hope our support will also have a positive impact on women leaders, their networks and the broader community. This event marks the 5th workshop and program completion for the 50 women that undertook the 2021 STEM Ambassador Program. It's just a wonderful thing, that consistent effort year after year. And over the course of the program, STEM Sister Ambassadors have learnt from industry leaders in workshops just like this one and have given back to the community through university campus events and primary school visits. We want those preps to have every sense of their potential, but of course we want those pathways to be open to people throughout their education and throughout their careers and working lives. Our government's really pleased to be supporting a number of other initiatives at reaching girls and women in schools, universities and the wider workforce. Last year, we launched a Women and Girls in STEM map to help improve the underrepresentation of women and girls in the sector. It's designed to help people find potential career pathways, new opportunities, and to seek out support, advice, mentorship, and other opportunities. In total, the map lists 175 programs and activities. It provides a wonderful visual representation of the resources available to girls and to women to excel in STEM careers. And our government's gender equity statement is very much underway in terms of driving change, making a real difference and being implemented. It includes a key action to promote gender equality at work, including flexible work practices. Just a few days ago, I joined the initial recipients of support from the Alice Anderson Fund and heard about the exciting new businesses and innovation that they're involved in. The Alice Anderson Fund is a $10 million fund led by our startup agency LaunchVic, and it is designed to invest in early stage capital in women-led startups, remove some of those barriers they face to creating great things in that really, really early stage in their business. I think we can all be very, very excited about what all of these initiatives will do to combine for opportunities for current and future generations. So congratulations to the remarkable women who are completing the STEM Sister Ambassadors program. I'm looking forward to seeing many, many more women and girls undertaking STEM careers now and for years to come. And you're all playing such an important role in making that a reality. So thank you. Happy International Women's Day. Have a wonderful evening. Good.
Next up, a STEM hero and a personal icon of mine, Dr. Amanda Caples, Victoria's lead scientist and the chair of the STEM Sisters Advisory Panel. Through her role as Victoria's lead scientist, she connects Victoria's science, technology and innovation capabilities with business needs and with the government's economic development activities. Dr. Caples has led the development of industry and science and innovation policy in Victoria since joining the Victorian Public Service back in 2002 as the inaugural Director of Biotechnology. During her time, she's delivered major policy reforms, a range of programs and global partnerships and landmark initiatives, including the Victorian Comprehensive Cancer Centre. Please welcome Dr. Caples to the stage.
Thank you, Shaz, and good evening, everyone. Well, it's fantastic to be here, isn't it, at a live event after 12 months, and it only seemed like yesterday that we were not in this building, but down the road at Victoria University, celebrating what was my first International Women's Day event with STEM Sisters. And a lot has happened since then. And I too would like to acknowledge and to thank Rwangi Fernando for her role in getting us here and for doing what is a stunning job in terms of progressing the STEM Sisters initiative, which is just going from strength to strength. So as you heard from the Honourable Jala Pulford, we're very, very fortunate to have a Minister for Innovation, Small Business, Medical Research and the Digital Economy who is so genuinely supportive of women and girls in STEM. She's a great ambassador for us in everything that we seek to do, and it was terrific that she was able to send the video this evening to acknowledge and to celebrate with us. So I'd like to thank Minister Pulford for her overview of what the Victorian Government is doing to promote women in STEM, and particularly for highlighting how vital STEM Sisters is to reaching our shared aims. That is, to enable more talented women and girls of all ages, of all cultures and all backgrounds to take up opportunities in STEM. I think it's fair to say that many of us in this room are, if not the first in our families to attend higher education, if not, we are at the vanguard of a new wave of women and girls who are able to follow STEM-based careers. That hasn't always been the case. It's important to celebrate, because without a STEM education, we're really behind the eight ball in terms of participating in the problem-solving industries, which is where the jobs of the future will be. So it's really important that we have STEM education and that we find ways of breaking the bias. You know, as many of you know, the theme of International Women's Day this year is about breaking the bias. And it's fair to say people like talking to people that they can immediately relate to. And you kind of get that, but you've also got to be very proactive and seeking diversity and diversity in every way, shape and form. And that's why STEM Sisters is so important, and to enable international students through the Study Melbourne program and other activities that the Victorian Government is doing to make sure that you have the best possible time when you're here in Melbourne, and hopefully continue to be here in Melbourne, and can reach the potential that all of you have to offer the world. So I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the achievements of the latest cohort of the STEM Sisters Ambassador Program and to congratulate the class of 2021. As I see you all, I'm very confident that the future of women in STEM is in very good hands, especially at a time when the inspiration that you provide and the example that you set is more important than ever. So why is this? Well, we know that rapid digitalisation and automation are dramatically changing the world of work. STEM-skilled jobs are growing at 1.5 times faster than any other job sector, and the associated demand for science and math skills will increase by over 75%. This forecast expansion adds even greater impetus to the existing need to support the attraction, recruitment and career progress of women in the STEM workforce. While participation of women in STEM has improved in recent years, COVID-19 has put at risk as women have faced disproportionate increases in caring responsibilities, work disruptions and job insecurity. So my team and I at the Office of the Lead Scientist are acutely aware of this reality, as is Minister Pulford. Like every STEM sister ambassador and so many Victorians, my office understands that gender equity in the STEM workforce requires much greater consideration and action. And if we do this effectively, it will ultimately lead to significant economic growth. So, what have we been doing? Well, the Office of Lead Scientist has consulted with higher education providers, with industry partners and the Australian Government to understand the range of initiatives being undertaken in Victoria currently. We're doing the same within the Victorian Government. It's great that we've got legislation around gender equality, but we need to reach out across departments to make sure that we've got those connections and that they understand what we're seeking to do. So we're advocating with them the importance of women in STEM-related skills initiatives. The economic and moral imperative to increase women's participation in the growing STEM workforce is widely understood. The challenge is, how do we make that? How do we get that equality? So at the Office of Lead Scientist, we are well placed to connect existing programs across government and STEM industries and drive the development of new initiatives. And we recognise that we don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel, that there are many initiatives already out there who share our common objective. And you heard the Minister mention the Women and Girls in STEM map. And I just so happen to have one here with me, and I've got some spare copies that I'll leave on the front table. But this map, which if I open out, will give you an idea of what it looks like, basically summarises the programs and initiatives that are already available that you can access, whether it's your sisters, so it goes from primary, secondary, tertiary and professional development. So it just puts all in one place those existing programs so that you can find them more readily than would otherwise be the case. So if you don't manage to get a hard copy of this, it is available on my website, and there's an interactive link to the various initiatives that are listed here. So this map is just one of our initiatives to encourage women in STEM. Others include a strategic communications plan. So we actively write articles and post social media on the importance of international and national dates of recognition and celebration of women in STEM. We're collaborating with the Australian Academy of Technology and Engineering to identify Victorian STEM-based businesses to pilot a toolkit that will help workplaces become more diverse, equitable and inclusive in their recruitment of staff. And finally, and an outcome of last year's STEM Sisters International Women's Day event, we are running a science communication training course in partnership with with STEM Sisters and the Australian Science Media Centre to empower culturally and linguistically diverse women in STEM by giving them the skills and the confidence to engage proactively with journalists. So as I've made clear, I hope, a priority for me as Victoria's lead scientist is to promote the development of a STEM-capable workforce and ensuring equal gender representation within this workforce will have wide-ranging benefits. Through successful initiatives like STEM Sisters, we can really put power behind our mission and passion to enable equal opportunity through education, building confidence, and above all else, mitigating other barriers. Of course, it is equally important that we continue to raise our own voices as individuals to support and promote gender equity in STEM and the immense value it brings to all Victorians. Thank you for having me this evening, and congratulations once again to all the STEM Sisters ambassadors. I know that you'll have added incredible value over the past 12 months, and that throughout your brilliant careers, which I'm very confident that every one of you will have, I look forward to learning of both the discoveries and the impact that you will have as a consequence of your participation in this program. So thank you once again for your commitment, and I wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.
speaking of trailblazing women, next up we have the powerhouse Caroline Hartnett, the Deputy Director of International Education and Study Melbourne in Global Victoria. She has worked in policy, advisory and analytical roles in relation to the education sector for over a decade. Her career was built from a strong foundation at the Australian Bureau of Statistics, extending to work on nationally significant projects in early childhood then tertiary education. Now, having worked for a number of years in international education, she's passionate about working with stakeholders to ensure that the Victorian education sector is positioned to maximise opportunities abroad and international students such as yourselves to have an outstanding experience while studying in Victoria. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Shaz, and hello, everyone. Lovely to be here in real life. It's just fantastic to finally be at face-to-face events again. So good afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Caroline Hartnett and I'm the Deputy Director of International Education at Study Melbourne in the Department of Jobs, Precincts and Regions in the Victorian Government, and it's a real pleasure to be here with you today. I'd also like to acknowledge the Aboriginal owners of the lands on which we meet today and pay my respects to their culture and their elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge Minister Yala Pulford's sentiments, as well as our Victoria's Chief Scientist Amanda Capel's lovely words as well. She has really been leading champion of STEM Sisters, so thank you so much for your leadership, Amanda, right from the early days, so thank you. This room is filled with extraordinary and accomplished individuals from universities, STEM industries, the health sector, entrepreneurs, and of course the STEM Sisters ambassadors as well. Thank you to Rwangi Fernando, the founder of STEM Sisters, for your vision of how we can advance support for female international students in STEM disciplines. You are amazing and my hat's off to you. It's wonderful to be part of this final STEM Sisters Ambassador Workshop, a program proudly sponsored by the Study Melbourne Inclusion Program. So, Rwangi, you created STEM Sisters to empower women of colour to thrive in the fields of science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Study Melbourne is delighted to see how this Ambassador Program has supported 54 women in their STEM journey. Today's event coincides with the celebrations for International Women's Day, and this event is such an important way to mark this occasion. The theme for this year's International Women's Day internationally is Changing the Climates, Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. It's focused on recognising and amplifying the important role women and girls around the world play in addressing climate change. This theme also highlights the reality that science and gender equality are both really vital to our sustainability. This theme also highlights, we also need women in STEM to be able to fully participate in our workforces. An equal future depends on our female graduates being valued, respected and heard in the workplace. We know there's more work to be done to address barriers such as stereotypes, gender bias and discrimination. However, inclusion is an action, and with so many people gathered here today, we see that change is happening through the power of allies and champions. STEM Sisters has been funded through the Study Melbourne Inclusion Program, a Victorian Government initiative to deliver projects that enhance the experience of international students studying in Victoria. The program is currently delivering 17 amazing projects tailored to our student community. Gender equity is a real priority topic for us, and we have a range of projects that support women's empowerment. Female international students study abroad for more than qualifications. They want to experience a new way of life and gain greater independence. Providing quality programs to support the ambition of these students is critical to the Victorian Government and the work Study Melbourne does. Study Melbourne is committed to investing in initiatives that support international women studying in Victoria to have your voice heard and explore your aspirations. On the 25th of March, I warmly invite you to join Future Female, and for those who haven't been before, it is a wonderful conference. It's a conference we support at Study Melbourne, and I think we have Belle Lim, hey Belle, in the audience, so please don't hesitate to talk to Belle about joining that conference. I think Rwangi is also a panellist at the event, so it would be great to hear from you, Rwangi. So Future Female is a platform for multicultural and multi-faith trailblazers where female international students can take centre stage. In 2020, 100% of Future Female participants said they'd attend another Future Female conference. It's always had a really big impact. One student described the conference as my day of awakening. It's always inspiring, motivating and empowering. So please, yes, as I mentioned, chat to Belle, visit the Study Melbourne website for more information and to register. So finally, to all STEM Sister Ambassadors, congratulations for making this program happen. Stay connected to us and each other. This includes our incredible ambassadors onshore and offshore. You're all Victorians to us. And have a great time networking today. We look forward to following your progress into the future as you take on the world. Thank you.
And now to the woman of the hour, Dr. Rwangi Fernando, founder and passionate advocate of STEM Sisters. Like many of you in the audience, Dr. Fernando actually began her career as an international doctoral candidate in Victoria. Homesick and away from her support networks, she set up STEM Sisters in 2017 as a means to attract, support and celebrate female international students and migrants, women of colour, in science, engineering, technology and the mathematical fields. Initially starting as a small university club to now running this massive organisation. Today, Dr. Rwangi Fernando has completed a PhD and along with her academic success has held many senior managerial positions at reputed academic institutions and is currently working as a sessional academic at Victoria University. Please, a round of applause for Rwangi.
I warmly welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining. And I know this is not the most convenient times. There are many things happening around. So we are very grateful that you can be here with us today. So I have a small journey to take you through. So just to show the importance of what we do and why we do that. So starting with STEM, of course, these are all statistics and findings from the Victorian and the Australian government that we are expecting very high rising numbers of employment needs, talents for the Australian economy, because largely any sector is having or needing the support of STEM. So the number of opportunities are really increasing and they are requiring the support from the university sector to produce such talent in Australia. And one of the other key things about STEM is innovation, because STEM is driven, or if you need to produce the newest products or the talents, it's one of the key things is to innovate them. So it's a critical factor that we look for. And one of the other things that it's very critical is diversity, because diversity plays a huge role in innovation. So when we talk about diversity, it comes in different forms and shapes. It's gender, it's age, it's race, it's ethnicity, it's ability, right? And sexual orientation. All of these are different forms of diversity, which we need to include in our organizations, everywhere the decisions are made and everywhere this new technology are being discussed or innovated. So therefore, there is a huge key component of diversity which directly links with innovation. And what about the Australian STEM workforce? Is it really diverse? Of course, there is staggering statistics around how many low women representation is there, but can we stop diversity from gender? It's just one aspect above all the earlier mentioned diversity categories. Have we paid sufficient attention on other diversity areas? This is why we brought STEM Sisters or developed STEM Sisters, because particularly intersectionality, where some women, because if you stop with gender, there are some women miss out of these programs or initiatives because they not just identify as a woman, but they do identify as a woman of color or with a disability. So actually the barrier of intersectionality even grow if you identify with at least 2 or more. So the solutions that, of course, every woman face a glass ceiling. But if you belong to an intersectional segment, then what you have to face is a concrete ceiling or a bamboo ceiling. So the tools that you are supposed to use, or given for you to break a glass, it's impossible to use the same to break a concrete or a bamboo. So this is why it's very important to look at these intersectionalities very carefully. So when I started STEM Sisters, I was really surprised of the women that I met who were accomplished so significant milestone in an academia or in their profession, like in terms of their previous profession in back home, their country, or their academic qualification, completely being unemployed. And they really were struggling to get into the workforce. And wherever I go, it was more and more. And even I couldn't find any statistics to back my claims at 2017. I thought this is something, a very small niche, but really needs attention. So that's where STEM Sisters began. And since then, we had so much of involvement because with the community, first thing what we did is develop our community because we really wanted to find our community who needs that support. At the same time, we were seeking attention from or seeking support from the universities. That's where I started, from Victoria University. Then it was Study Melbourne. Then it was the lead scientist office. Likewise, the community grew. And all of the other Victoria-based universities came along, and we created a support network for us to assist in this journey. So STEM Sisters to date have all of these range of solutions because, actually I think, yes, because we face a leaky pipeline. These are some of the critical cracks that we fall through, and because they are unique cracks, you cannot solve everything by one initiative like mentoring or having an ambassador program or having a magazine. Just one won't be sufficient. So that's why we created this range of initiative. Mainly, it doesn't require, we don't provide any specific STEM skills, but we tackle them with their confidence, find support, give role models, get them opportunities to network. So ambassador program is one of them, and very grateful to Study Melbourne to supporting this program. So I've been an ambassador myself in 2019. I went to Study Melbourne saying that this is my project, I need your help. And since then, they have been very warmly welcoming me. Wherever they could connect me, they have. Even I was able to meet Dr. Amanda Capels through Study Melbourne. So I have so much of gratefulness to Study Melbourne for their support. And the ambassador program, which is a very unique one, because there is few things we are trying to address. One thing, we need these girls to feel recognized, to get industry, academia, the broader society's attention to them. Similarly, we see a problem that is coming forth as well, because in the newer generation of STEM students need some role models, because Australia, 50% or 51% is either born overseas or at least one of their parents been overseas. So the role models that you see, if they are on a specific nature, they won't feel encouraged. So you need a diverse set of role models to be there. So we use these girls to be gone into some of the primary school sectors in the diverse areas in Victoria. At the same time, they'll be ambassadors in their universities to sharing this message among their peers. So in the first step, we ran 5 workshops, including today. Today is a celebration and giving them an opportunity to network. We have invited very senior personnel in the industry universities because they need to feel valued and they need to be networked with them so that they can they can build up their profile. So that's this is like we have gone through range of workshops, which included some of the panelists who appeared in those workshops. They shared their journeys, and we asked certain questions, what sort of barriers that they went through, and there was so much of lovely discussion. They felt so engaged, inspired by them. Then after today, because the workshops are done and they recognize themselves as ambassadors, we'll be organizing some campus events and the primary school visits. Also, we created some comic books. It's a series of 10. This is the first 4, because we wanted to show the young generation of girls and boys just to see what science, technology, engineering, and maths can lead up to different professions. Because simply, a lot of them would know a doctor or an engineer, but they would not know the broader employment opportunities that can come across studying STEM. So this is a small wrap-up of the ambassador program. I welcome you all to check into our website. There is a range of initiative covering of trying to fix this leaky pipeline that we have encountered as women of color, and try to kind of fix that. So next is to recognize our ambassadors, and over to you, Shaz.
As Rawangi said, we are now up to the part where it's a joyous celebration of our STEM Sister ambassadors. And to celebrate this momentous occasion for many of our ambassadors, the next generation of future STEM leaders, dare I say, I'd like to call to the stage some women who have actually paved the way and broken some glass ceilings themselves for us to follow in their footpaths. Please welcome Professor Madhu Bhaskaran, a multi-award-winning electronics engineer and innovator. Her fundamental research breakthroughs have been recognised with numerous awards, including the 2020 Frederick Medal awarded by the Australian Academy of Science. She co-leads the Functional Materials and Microsystems Research Group at RMIT University, which she established in 2010. Please also welcome with her Caroline Harnett. First to the stage, Jenny Nguyen. Next up, Cheryl Nguyen. Khan Down. Nancy Lee. Sang Doi. Kalani Palagarama. Risturi. E Tanda Ang. Javira. Neelam Yadav. Nandita Sirigiri. Amana Batul. Rachana Manjutra. Perfect. Perfect. Please thank Caroline and Madhu. Thank you. For the next set of slides, I'd like to welcome Dr. Amanda Caples back to the stage. Aisha Ali. You might want to go that way. Fazana. Lakna. Nithya. Madel Tutor. Keethana John. Sanika. Rachel. Shijuti. Riza Aurora. Himani Dave. Afasana. Anya Bansel. Anna Mondip. And last but not least, Spandana. Please thank Amanda and Ruwangi. My apologies for the mispronunciation of names. Part of diversity is getting that part right as well, so next time I will make sure that I practice beforehand. I'll pass it over to Ruwangi for the closing remarks.
Again, let me start saying thank you for my ambassadors, for STEM Sisters, for starting the journey with us and then being part of it at the same time, because they are today's most important, so we have to start from them. And then I'll move here. I'm so grateful for all the honorable guests who have come here today, having busy schedules, very prestige members in different organizations, universities, government, other industry sectors. So we're really grateful for your presence here today. So thank you very much. And more importantly, I need to say thank you to Study Melbourne for giving us this opportunity through the program to support us. This is a very unique initiative. I'm sure there have not been done a specific one before. So having trust in us, even we had a very strong relationship for a longer time, but having that trust and giving us this opportunity was greatly appreciated. And then everyone, throughout these workshops, there have been very prestige personnel across Australia have been coming onto the panels, managing those workshop activities with so much of pleasure. It's been like how much they have contributed towards these girls' inspiration or encouragement. So we are very grateful for all of what they have done for us. So thank you so much. I like to say thank you for the entire Victoria government and the community, because I am an international student myself. So I started STEM Sisters while being an international student doing my PhD. Without the support that I have received through the community, through universities, and through a broader community, I'm not able to make this happen. So I am very grateful for every support, every step of the way we started. We are still a very grassroots initiative, but we are trying to do our very best. We are trying to make a change. We are trying to make a real, meaningful change happen in the STEM sector. So there have been immense support. There are some who sitting here today who have been part of the very first event itself. So I am very grateful. Every year they come along with an invitation, and then they come to support us. And whenever we needed that support, they're always welcoming us with open hands. So thank you very much for all of you for being here today. Thank you.
At STEM Sisters, when we say we support you, we also mean literally, as we just saw before. STEM Sisters is proud to be home to such a diverse group of amazing women and future STEM leaders. Today is a celebration of the achievements and contributions of not just the ambassadors, but girls and women around the world, while simultaneously recognising the barriers that we continue to face in the fight for equality and equity. A night like today has taken many sleepless nights from our organisers. So can we please get a round of applause for the organisers? And finally, thank you to all of you. You've taken the time to attend, to connect, and forge the future forward. We hope you have an amazing time and take this opportunity to strengthen your professional networks, because we're always stronger together. Please remember to stay around for networking, and thank you, and let the networking begin.